It was supposed to be a harmless promo interview, 10 minutes of polite conversation, a couple of jokes, maybe a mention of Meghan's latest empowerment project. Nothing unusual, nothing risky. But the moment Meghan Markle walked onto the Live with Kelly and Mark stage, Kelly Ripa felt it. Something was off. The smile was too tight. The posture was too stiff. The energy, icy. And the audience, they sensed it too. What began as a sunny morning show quickly turned into a storm, one that no one in the control room could stop. The studio lights glowed warm against the pastel set of Live with Kelly and Mark. The audience clapped rhythmically as Meghan Markle strode in, slow, controlled, chin tilted just slightly higher than necessary. Kelly Ripa stepped forward with her trademark enthusiasm. "Meghan, welcome. We're so glad you're here." Meghan offered a smile that froze halfway across her face. "Yes. Well, I suppose it was time I finally made an appearance here." Kelly blinked. It wasn't hostile, but it wasn't warm either. "Please, have a seat," Mark added, motioning to the sofa. Meghan sat down with the delicate stiffness of someone who expected the furniture to disappoint her. Kelly and Mark exchanged a quick glance. Nothing dramatic, just the silent, "Okay." Interesting start. Kelly launched into the first gentle softball. "So Meghan, you've been living in California for a while now. How's life treating you? How are the kids? How's Harry?" Meghan crossed her legs carefully and exhaled through her nose. "Life is fine, Kelly. But honestly, I find it odd that people keep asking the same basic questions over and over, as if I haven't answered them 1,000 times." Kelly's smile remained, but her eyes flashed. "Oh, well, we like to start light. Our viewers love keeping up with your journey," Meghan shrugged. "Yes, and that's understandable. Although sometimes I wonder if they're really interested in me or just the spectacle that follows me everywhere." Mark leaned forward to soften it. "Well, we're just happy to have you. Your new documentary is making waves." Meghan cut him off. "Of course it is. Anything I do makes waves. People tend to obsess over my life more than their own." A ripple of laughter came from the audience, nervous, unsure. Kelly clasped her hands. "Let's talk about the documentary then. You highlight some pretty personal stories." "Yes, because someone has to," Meghan interjected sharply. "Someone has to speak the truth. The institutions I escaped from certainly won't." Kelly inhaled through her teeth. "We'll get to that," she said carefully. "But first, I wanted to ask, your work in women's advocacy has been praised across the—" Meghan scoffed lightly. "Praised? Kelly, let's be honest. Everything I do gets picked apart. People still misunderstand my intentions. They don't see the vision. You, of all people, should understand what it's like to be underestimated." Kelly blinked again. "Well, I think a lot of people appreciate what you're doing." "Some do," Meghan said, crossing her arms. "But the media in general? You all love twisting things." Kelly raised her eyebrows but kept her tone gentle. "We're not all the same, Meghan." Meghan tilted her head. "Aren't you?" The audience reacted, some gasps, some whispers. Mark cleared his throat. "So, moving on," Meghan ignored him. "People like to pretend their shows are supportive, but I've noticed most of them are waiting for me to say the wrong thing." Kelly felt her patience tug. "Well, that's not what we do here." Meghan narrowed her eyes ever so slightly. "We'll see." For the first time in her long career, Kelly felt an actual chill run down her spine. Meghan Markle wasn't just guarded, she was on the attack. Kelly tried again, switching topics to lighten the mood. "So, your children. How are Archie and Lily adjusting to life away from the spotlight?" Meghan gave a cold smile. "They're fine. We give them privacy, something people should respect, though they usually don't." Kelly nodded. "Absolutely. Though many parents would kill for your level of freedom and flexibility." "Freedom?" Meghan repeated sharply. "You mean the freedom I had to fight for? The freedom no one wanted me to have?" Kelly swallowed. "Well, you've certainly created a different path for your family." "Yes," Meghan replied. "And some people can't stand that I didn't play the obedient little duchess." The room tensed. Kelly felt the air thicken. Mark shifted uncomfortably. She tried a diplomatic smile. "No one wants you to be anything you're not." "Oh, please, Kelly," Meghan snapped lightly. Spare me. People want me to be quiet, modest, grateful, but I'm none of those things. Kelly's smile faltered, and for the first time in the interview, the audience didn't laugh, didn't clap. They just watched, waiting. Kelly took a slow breath. Well, this is going to be a very honest conversation. I can see that already. Meghan arched an eyebrow. Honesty tends to make people uncomfortable. Kelly held her gaze, refusing to flinch. Only when honesty comes wrapped in attitude. A tiny spark lit in Meghan's eyes. The storm was coming, and everyone in the studio felt it. The studio atmosphere had shifted from bright to brittle. Even through the cheerful pastel set and soft lighting, something sharper, colder, hovered in the air. Meghan sat with her chin slightly raised, her posture screaming superiority. Kelly Ripa, though experienced enough to handle diva guests, had rarely encountered a guest so deliberately combative. Kelly kept her professional tone, adjusting her note cards. Meghan, let's talk a little bit about your new nonprofit. Initiative, Meghan cut in immediately. Ah, yes, the one everyone keeps trying to misinterpret. Kelly froze for half a second before smiling. Well, we wouldn't dream of misinterpreting anything. We're just excited to hear what inspired me, Meghan said firmly, was the complete failure of the institutions that were supposed to support me. Mark shifted again, and a few uneasy laughs rolled through the audience. Kelly kept her composure. Right, but surely you also had positive experiences? Kelly, Meghan said, leaning forward with a patronizing smile. You don't get to rewrite my experiences just to fit a feel-good morning show narrative. Kelly's eyebrows lifted, almost involuntarily. Oh, I'm not rewriting anything. I'm just giving you space to share more facets of your story. Meghan crossed her arms. There's no need. The truth is very simple, and people only seem to struggle with it when they don't like what it says. Kelly felt irritation spark behind her smile. Okay then, she said sweetly. Let's get into something straightforward. Your move to California has been described as a major lifestyle shift. How has it been adjusting to life outside the monarchy? Meghan's lips curled. Kelly, everything is a major lifestyle shift to people who can't imagine doing anything outside their comfort zone. Kelly blinked. Are you suggesting I can't imagine that? Meghan shrugged. You said it, not me. The audience reacted. Soft gasps, surprised laughter. Kelly felt her jaw tense but maintained her bright expression. Mark tried again, stepping in like a referee. Meghan, many viewers see your move as empowering. Empowering, Meghan repeated with a laugh. People like to throw that word around. Empowerment requires strength, independence, vision, qualities most people don't have. Kelly inhaled deeply. Well, that's one interpretation. It's the correct interpretation, Meghan corrected sharply. Kelly shot Mark a look that clearly said, did she really just say that? He responded with the helpless expression of a man stuck in the middle of a hurricane. Still, Kelly pressed on. Let's talk about Harry. The public has always been fascinated with him. How is he adjusting to American life? Meghan smirked. Kelly, Harry is thriving. He loves being away from the cameras, away from that suffocating traditional nonsense. Kelly nodded slowly. But some people feel he struggles, being far from his brother, from his... Meghan's voice sliced through the sentence. People feel, or the tabloids feel, because I'm not interested in tabloid psychology. Kelly held her ground. These concerns come from many viewers who care about the royal family. Care? Meghan scoffed. Let's be honest. They don't care. They want drama. They feed off it. Kelly's patience slipped a millimeter. Well, drama does tend to follow you, Meghan. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Meghan's eyes narrowed. I don't attract drama, she said coldly. People manufacture it around me. There's a difference. Kelly gave a slow nod, choosing her words carefully. Sometimes the way we respond to situations can influence how people perceive us. Do you think that's possible? Meghan tilted her head, her expression equal parts confusion and arrogance. Kelly, perception is for people who don't have the intelligence to understand the truth. Kelly's jaw clenched, visibly this time. Even Mark leaned back, bracing for what he knew was coming. Kelly's smile returned, but it was icy. Well, she said lightly, our audience seems intelligent enough. Meghan shrugged. I suppose intelligence varies. The room froze. Even the cameras seemed to hesitate. Kelly allowed a beat of silence, just long enough for the tension to thicken before continuing. "All right," she said, voice calm but firm. "Let's shift to your work in Hollywood. People were excited when they heard you might return to acting." Meghan rolled her eyes. "Oh, please. Acting was something I did when I was younger. I've outgrown it. I have more meaningful work now. But many fans loved your performances." "Fans," Meghan interrupted again. "Let's not pretend I owe my career to fan approval." Kelly's tone sharpened. "Respectfully, Meghan, every performer owes something to the people who support their work." Meghan smirked. "You would say that?" Kelly felt the snap inside her, not yet breaking, but bending dangerously. She leaned forward, folding her hands deliberately. "Meghan," she said with a gentle but unmistakably firm voice, "we invited you here to talk about your projects, your life, and yes, your perspective. But you seem intent on dismissing every question. Is there something you do want to talk about?" Meghan blinked, caught off guard just briefly before her expression tightened again. "I want to talk about how exhausting it is," she said stiffly. "How people twist my words, misinterpret my tone, paint me as some kind of villain." Kelly gave a slow exhale. "Well, you certainly have an opportunity now to set the record straight." Meghan's reply was quick and cutting. "I would if people actually listened instead of judging." Kelly's face hardened for the first time. "Oh," Kelly said softly with a razor-thin smile, "we're listening." The audience clapped lightly, supportively, but the energy was shifting. The spark had hit the fuse. The explosion was coming, and Meghan didn't see it. But Kelly? She felt the pop, the tension, the crack forming. Meghan Markle had no idea. She was seconds from pushing Kelly Ripa over the edge. The tension in the studio had thickened to the point where even the camera crew exchanged uneasy glances. Kelly Ripa's bright, polished morning show energy was still there, but just barely. Meghan, legs crossed, chin lifted, wore the expression of someone who believed the entire room existed to admire her. Kelly took a slow breath, then leaned in with a poised smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Let's talk about something a bit broader," she said calmly. "You've been at the center of public discussions since stepping back from the royal family. Do you ever feel that you might contribute to some of the controversies surrounding you?" Meghan's lips curled into a smirk. "People create controversy because they're intimidated by women like me," she replied. "Strong, articulate, independent, that combination makes people uncomfortable." Kelly nodded slowly. "Or," she said gently, "some might argue that the way you communicate comes across as dismissive." Meghan's smile vanished. "Dismissive?" she repeated sharply. "Kelly, telling the truth isn't dismissive. If people can't handle honesty, that's not my problem." The audience shifted, some awkward laughter, some raised eyebrows. Kelly kept her tone soft, but a firmness crept in. "Being honest," she said, "doesn't require being unkind." The entire studio went silent. Mark glanced nervously between them, suddenly wishing he were anywhere else. Meghan tilted her head, offended. "Unkind? I haven't been unkind to anyone here. I simply refuse to water myself down for daytime television." That landed like a slap. A few audience members gasped. One woman visibly mouthed, "Wow." Kelly's composure wavered, only for a second, but long enough for the cameras to catch it. "Meghan," she said, voice tighter now, "this show is watched by millions of people from all backgrounds. Suggesting that this platform, or the people watching it, are beneath you is incredibly disrespectful." Meghan rolled her eyes. "Oh, please. I'm not here to fit into the Kelly and Mark cheerful bubble. I bring depth, perspective, substance. I can't apologize if that's unfamiliar territory for some." Kelly's expression hardened. "Aesthetic, cheerful bubble, unfamiliar territory," she repeated, each word sharper than the last. "So, now you're insulting the show and the audience?" Meghan didn't even blink. "I'm not insulting anyone. I'm simply pointing out the obvious. Someone has to elevate the conversation." This time the audience reacted loudly. Murmurs, "Oof" sounds, a couple of boos, one loud, "Oh no, she didn't." Kelly's smile disappeared completely. Mark sat up straight, ready to jump in, but Kelly lifted one hand slightly, signaling she had it under control. She leaned forward, elbows on her knees, eyes locked on Meghan. "Here's the thing, Meghan," she said, her tone icy but still controlled. "You come here saying you want to set the record straight, but every single answer you've given today has been condescending. You don't get to come on a show and belittle everyone in the room just because they ask questions." Meghan crossed her arms dramatically. "Maybe the questions should be better." Kelly's jaw clenched, visibly. "Oh, trust me," she said. "The questions are just fine. What's questionable is your attitude." The room erupted again. Gasps, shocked laughter, even a scattered applause. Meghan sat upright, eyes blazing. "I'm not here to tolerate disrespect, Kelly." Kelly leaned in closer, voice now like glass. "Then stop disrespecting everyone else." The tension exploded into the kind of drama morning television dreams of. Except this time, it wasn't scripted, and everyone sensed it. The next words from either woman would push the interview past the point of no return. You could feel it the moment the segment returned from the commercial break. Not a single person in the studio, not the crew, not Mark, not the audience, believed the interview would calm down. And Meghan made sure it didn't. As the cameras rolled again, Meghan adjusted her blazer with a visible air of annoyance, as if the studio, the show, and everyone in it were inconveniences she had been forced to tolerate. Kelly's smile returned, but it was the kind of smile people wear right before they break. "Welcome back," she said, her voice too steady to be natural. "We're here with Meghan Markle, continuing our lively conversation." Meghan smirked. "Lively, I'd say enlightening." Kelly blinked slowly, then continued. "Meghan, before the break, you mentioned feeling misunderstood by the public, but you've also made repeated comments today that seem to place yourself above the public. Don't you see the contradiction?" Meghan let out a short, sarcastic laugh. "Kelly, people misunderstand me because I operate on a different level. Not everyone can keep up with my perspective. That's not my fault." A loud wave of gasps swept across the audience. Mark's eyes widened. "Oh boy," he whispered into his mic, accidentally loud enough for everyone to hear. Kelly turned slightly toward him, then back to Meghan, with an expression that had gone dangerously calm. "Meghan," she said, "you're talking to millions of people who watch this show every day. Moms, teachers, nurses, students. Hard-working people who tune in, hoping to start their morning with positivity and honesty. Not superiority." Meghan shrugged. "If people are threatened by confidence, that's a personal issue, not mine." Kelly softly placed her note cards on the table. "Oh, honey," she said, her voice low and sharp. "This isn't confidence. This is arrogance." The audience erupted. Gasps, applause, whispers. Someone even shouted, "Tell her, Kelly!" Meghan's face flushed. "I don't have to sit here and be insulted," she snapped. "This show is clearly beneath me." Silence. Actual silence. Mark turned toward Kelly, silently mouthing, "Oh my God." Kelly let out a calm exhale, the last of her patience evaporating. "You know what, Meghan?" she said, leaning forward. "Enough." Meghan blinked, startled. Kelly continued, voice firm and unshakable. "You came here to talk about your projects, but instead you've talked down to me, my co-host, this show, and our viewers at every turn. We welcome guests with respect, but we expect that same respect in return." Meghan scoffed loudly. "Oh, please, you're overreacting." Kelly shook her head slowly. "No," she said sharply, "I'm setting a boundary." Then, with the composure and authority of someone who had finally reached her limit, Kelly Ripa delivered the line that would be replayed across social media for weeks. "If you think this show is beneath you, then so is this seat. Meghan, we're done here. Please leave the stage." The audience exploded. Gasps, murmurs, even applause. Meghan's mouth fell open. "You're kicking me off live television?" she shouted. Kelly didn't even blink. "Yes," she said simply, "because this is Live with Kelly and Mark, not Look How Superior I Am, starring Meghan Markle." Mark buried his face in his hands. The audience went wild. Meghan stood abruptly, her chair scraping back with a harsh screech. "This is outrageous," she hissed. "You'll regret this. I'm leaving." Kelly gestured toward the exit. "Perfect," she replied. "We'll survive." Meghan stormed off the set, the cameras catching the moment she yanked off her mic and disappeared backstage. Kelly turned back to the camera, composed once more, though her eyes still sparkled with leftover fire. "Well," she said, adjusting her dress, "that was something. We'll be right back." Fade out. Studio chaos. Audience electricity. One of the messiest morning show moments in history. And that was Meghan Markle's explosive showdown on Live with Kelly and Mark. A moment the studio won't forget anytime soon. If this wild interview breakdown kept you hooked, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another dramatic celebrity meltdown. Trust me, the next one is already on its way.